about to go crazy. What up, y'all? Welcome to another episode of the Imperfect Action Show.
Yo.
You know what I'm saying? Let me do my math real quick. So 55. This is episode 57.
Yeah.
Crazy. We got my guy Derek Wood. Now, look, before we even go into the guest, who's a very special guest, I want you guys to really pay attention and learn from this man. Before we get into the guest, the Imperfect Action Show, what we do on the show is we connect with our 6, 7, 8-figure earners, and we want to teach you guys a business or marketing principle, lesson, or strategy that you could take from this episode to implement in your business immediately, completely for free. And quick little sponsorship goes out to myself. So if you're a coach consultant or a course creator and you're struggling with marketing and you want to break free of that, right? And you actually want to not only break free of it, but get more leads, get more sales, and grow your business online, you definitely want to tap in. There's a link below. Let's talk about mentorship. But Derek, what's up, man? Welcome to the episode. Welcome to Imperfect Action. How to get you on the show, man? Because listen, the My Barbecue man go crazy on the gram, bro. Like the food be looking spectacular. I don't even eat meat no more, but I'll be watching your content, and you be questioning me. I'll be questioning myself. I might need to go get something. I don't know. But, man, welcome to the show, man. Looking forward to have you on the show.
Yo, glad to be here on the show. Listen, I appreciate not only what you're doing personally, but what you're doing for the culture, like how you bringing people in, showing them that it's really all about taking action and it don't have to be perfect, right? That Imperfect Action Show. Yeah. Like one of my mottos is that activity breeds results. And just think about it. No activity, no results. So what a perfect name for a show. I'm honored that I've been selected to be able to share my years of wisdom and pearls that I've gained through really trial and error, right? Listen, these stripes I got, look, I earned every stripe. I had to really go through the fire. So I'm excited. Thank you for what you're doing. And if I'm bringing value to anybody already who's watching this, I hope they take time right now to share this with a couple of people on YouTube. Don't keep this show a secret, because what this show is doing is going to impact for generations and years to come. So thank you for your invitation today.
Yo, bro, 100%, man. I could not do this show without having you on. As soon as I met you, as soon as I knew the impact you was having, I was like, bro, it's a done deal. I just got to find a time. We just got to find a time that aligns, and then we're going to make it happen. So first off, before we get into the episode, I just got to compliment how spicy your fisheye lens is, bro. You're definitely the only one that's come on the episode with the fisheye. And you know what's crazy about the fisheye? It like highlights you.
Yeah.
It highlights you. It's almost like a halo is over your situation right now, bro.
Listen, I just, I want people to be able to not focus on what's going on in the back. I don't want no distractions. I want them to be able to understand the assignment that we're about to give them today.
Mm-hmm. All right, cool. So this is how I normally open up the show. I'm going to send a quick link out to our community just to remind them that we're rocking, we're up and popping. And while I'm doing that, why don't you tell the people a little bit about who the BBQ man is?
Listen, I'm multifaceted. For those of you who don't know me, I'm a barbecue mobile food mentor, food business coach, and I'm here in. Let me make sure I turn my volume off of this. That's how you know it's live. Now the sound is on. But I'm a multifaceted. I went from here's a fun fact for you. I went from not only just barbecuing in the parking lot, but now I actually get to park in the mayor's spot. That's because that's a whole nother topic to talk about there. But I've been barbecuing. Like, I fell in love with barbecue when I was in high school. I was a senior in high school. I was just finished work. I was working at a nursing home. A guy came back to the school. He spoke to our business class, and I always knew that I wanted to be in the food business. I used to do festivals and fairs with one of my buddies' mom. We used to go out to the Trinidadian, to Jamaican festivals, and do a lot of things like that. And so I worked in my first barbecue restaurant back then. The restaurant ended up, this is 94, 95. Around 96, we got these big snowstorms, these big furloughs. The business went down. Of course, it wasn't my business. We was in the wrong position and didn't just have the right type of marketing, I believe. So some lessons I learned then. Later on, I ended up going into the military as a result of just trying to get up out the streets. You know what I'm saying? I did that life too. You know, you gotta understand it. So one of my buddies went in.
From the streets to the grill, bro.
Yeah, from the streets to the grill, because I got the skills. You better believe it.
Yeah.
I went into the military. In the military, they sold me on the aspect of going to cooking school, going to culinary school. They sold me on the fact that, you know, a recruiter gonna say what they need to see to get somebody. I was like 18, about to turn 19, so I had ran the streets for a little bit, and recruiter was like, "Yeah," but they saw I had skills when I took the ASVAB test to get in the military. So they hit me with the bait and switch. They say, "Hey, we'll give you $2,000 if you go be a accountant." Right? And then you don't got to work those long hours that cooks work. And it was enticing because I was going in just really to get their experience in the school. They sold me on, we're going to help you buy a house. We're going to give you free education. You know what I'm saying? We're going to give you. So, hey, it was an easy sell to me.
It sounded like a no-brainer, high-ticket offer, but they sold
it. Yeah, it was. Oh, that's no questions asked. They ran me straight through a funnel, and I didn't even know I was being run through a funnel at the time. And those who don't know what a funnel is, you go through a funnel every single day you go shopping. When you're in the grocery store, you walk up and down those aisles, you're going through a funnel. And when you get to the cashier and you get ready to check out, they even got more items for you to sell that's on the shelf. And so you're really, truly going through a funnel. But so they ran me through this military funnel. And it's funny that you say that. And they offered me a $2,000 bonus to switch up on my dreams, to switch up on my vision, right? And a job, I found out, is the bribe they pay you to forget about your dreams.
Whoa, wait, hold up, bro. We ain't even talking about the money yet. We ain't talking
about I know, but I'm just talking about
crazy fact.
Yeah. A job is the bribe they give you to forget about your dreams.
That's crazy.
So I went in the military as an accountant, which was totally against my dreams, my vision. I knew since the time I was in middle school, maybe a freshman in high school, that I wanted to open a restaurant. Like I wanted to employ my friends, their family. Like I wanted to be the guy that brought everybody together, because I was probably back then mentally unemployable, but I didn't even know it was a thing. Like I'm so anti-structure, anti-rules that I come up with all these ideas, these solutions to problems. And I didn't know that was really the making of an entrepreneur. Like I had my first candy business in the 5th grade. Like I was selling candy and sodas in 4th and 5th grade, to the point where the teachers took my Rambo duffel bag lunchbox and it was in the principal's office, because they was like, "Yo, you like no kid should be doing this in elementary school. What's up?" You know, I was out the box like, "Yo, I know you tired of that milk. You need this."
But this is the thing. What's interesting about that? Were they hating on the entrepreneurship? Were they hating on a young kid was out here getting money, or were they thinking, or were they hating on the fact that you were thinking differently from the structure that they were trying to teach you?
Yeah, I think it was the Rainbow Lunchbox, Leslie. I'm on live on Instagram too.
That's what's up.
It's the simple fact that I was in a position where I think that I was different. I thought different. I did different, and they didn't want kids selling anything outside of their little fundraiser. Remember the Scholastic books?
Yeah.
And so if we wasn't selling what they wanted to sell, it wasn't allowed. It was illegal. And so I remember them calling my mom, and my mom laughed because I ran the whole candy store in the building. Like we lived on the first floor. Let me tell you where I come from. Like a lot of people see me now, but they don't know like them humble beginnings, like where we really came from. Like I live in a 16-story high-rise building in Silver Spring, Maryland. A place called Park Montgomery Apartments on Piney Branch and University, right? Not too far from the University of Maryland College Park. We lived in the basement when they still had apartments in the basement. We was across the room from the trash room and the elevators. Meaning all the rats, the roaches, all of that stuff would come there and be running around.
They had an apartment on that level, bro?
We had that's what I'm saying. They eventually got rid of it, but they probably shouldn't have had an apartment. We had an apartment straight across the room from the trash room.
That's wild.
This is me in 3rd, 4th, and I think 5th grade before they moved us up to the 4th floor. and they ended up converting that to a party room. I later on threw a senior party in there, a pajama jammy jam. How ironic is that? I was a young party promoter back then, right? I had a whole pajama jammy jam type situation.
That's
But
crazy.
we lived next door, and I got my first business started because the soda machine next to my apartment, because we lived on the basement, across from the trash room. There was a soda machine outside, and then there was a laundromat next to the soda machine. So everybody who did their laundry in the building came down there. So one day the soda machine was broken. And so, you know what I'm saying? Some people see crisis, I see opportunity.
Opportunity.
Yeah, come on. Say the first lesson here is it's opportunity is always in the midst of a crisis, and never waste a perfectly good crisis.
Never
So
waste a perfectly good crisis.
the soda machine was broken, B, and I took the sodas, and that was the seed money for my aunt to take me to start buying my own candy. Back when they had like the Price Club, they had these warehouses, and I had to get a ride. And I used to go with a whole paper bag full of change to the grocery store, and I used to buy my candy and re-up. And so in the building, instead of people having to cross the big street, because we was young, we weren't supposed to be crossing that big highway, cars flying. I would set up shop, and I had my candy up there, and everybody would have to come downstairs and see me. I would pack my little Rambo lunchbox and go to school and sell my little candy. And I did that until I got in middle school and was able to get a job delivering newspapers. And even when I started delivering newspapers for the Washington Post, shout out to the Washington Post, right? I developed my habit of waking up early back then, like getting up. Because I had to get up 3, 4 o'clock in the morning because people wanted their papers by the time they got up to go to work. And I used that too because I played sports. It was kind of in my mind, I'm doing speed, right? So my whole little success, love, speed type of mentality, it almost came from me delivering newspapers because I wanted to deliver those newspapers fast. I wanted to get them things out. And I wanted to be able to say I was getting in shape and I was working out at the same time. So when I had to run through the woods, when I had to run to the houses, right? And to me, probably I was scared a little bit because it was 5 o'clock in the morning. You hear about stories and stuff, and I'm trying to run and get stuff done fast.
So you was doing this on foot.
I was doing it on foot. I ain't had no car. I ain't had no bike. And plus, I was doing. They initially gave me the 2 high-rise buildings. Then they expanded. So shout out to anybody who know the area of Silver Spring. I used to live in Park Montgomery. I used to deliver newspapers in Pondway Towers, Nob Hill, and Forest Park. So I had all of Pawnee Branch Road from University Boulevard all the way down to New Hampshire. That was my territory. 6th grade, 7th grade, 8th grade, I ran all that by myself. Then I was so good, the distributor used to pick me up on Sundays to go deliver extra papers. I used to go to White Oak, Wheaton. I used to deliver papers all through there. And so that's where I kind of got that work ethic and that entrepreneurship. But that's kind of a little back. So I know I took you all the way back to the youth, right? And shout out if you're watching on Instagram, you can go shoot questions. We're on YouTube live at It's Brandon Boyd or the Imperfect Action Show. There's a link in my Facebook page if you want to come see us live on YouTube. Go ahead, B.
Yo, we getting after. So just to set the room for the people that are jumping in, we're talking to my guy, Derek Woods. He is the mobile food. Is it the mobile food mentor or the mobile food truck mentor? I want to make sure I say it right.
This is a mobile food mentor. You know what I'm saying?
Mobile food mentor
to everybody who got food that's in motion. Like if you ain't got a brick and mortar, like if you're a caterer, if you're a personal chef, if you got cupcakes that you're doing out your house, if you whatever you're doing that's in motion, that's on wheels. You know what I'm saying?
I like that. So we got a quick question from the community right now. This was coming from Todd. She says, "Where's the best place to get a food truck, and how many dishes should we have minimum due to the space?"
Yeah, pull a question. It's a great question. Thanks for asking. And sometimes it's running one play to really find out the great questions to ask, right? So the question I get all the time is, where can I get a good food truck from, right? And food trucks essentially is all around you. Right now, your car can operate as your first food truck, right? I started this thing out the trunk of a 1997 Ford Expedition. The shocks was broken. I had like a 3 little crock pot joint that you used to buy from like Sam's Club, and I used to plug it into a cigarette lighter, right? Because I didn't have $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 to buy a food truck, right? I had to take some imperfect action,
yes, sir.
First to prove that I had a proof of concept, right? because everybody first to figure out how many menu items, because that's the second question, is the first I had to figure out what was going to work. Like, what can I sustain going around? And so I needed a test market. For me, where does every hustler go? And I got to go back because my daddy was a hustler too. They called him, his name was Dollar Bill, believe it or not. I can't make this up.
Dollar Bill.
His name is William, but of course they called him Dollar Bill, right? And so they called him Dollar Bill because he never worked and he never will. He ran a fashion urban clothes industry down across the street from Norfolk State. Shout out to everybody who down in the Norfolk State area, but he had a shop. It was called Gear 360. He ran that for many years down in that area. And so when I used to go in the summer, I hated. He would put me in his van and he would drive me to the projects. I would have to sell bow rats. I would have to sell T-shirts. I got to pop out with the T-shirts. I would have to go and sell the pictures and stuff. But when he was training me up, he was teaching me work ethic, right? And so when I started my barbecue business, I remember them days in my young summertime when I used to go hang with my pops in the summer. I knew how to hustle, right? And didn't even know he was training me up. So now when it's time for me to sell my food, I go back to what he taught me. I hit the barbershops up, I hit the beauty salons up, and I drive through the hood where I know people want to eat. And so now what I'm doing is I'm developing a proof of concept. I'm figuring out how many items can I cook at one time, what are the popular items that people want, and I'm finding out what's the pain or the threshold and what I can charge people and be able to make a profit. So I started, my first food truck was out the back of a Ford Expedition. Now, where can you find them? You can find them all over Facebook Marketplace now. You can find them on Craigslist. You can find them all over the email. I mean, all you got to do is Google use food trucks, and you're going to find food trucks out there. The best time to buy a mobile food truck or any type of mobile food car is in the off season. And that's whatever the off season is in your area, when it's the coldest and there's not a lot of people gathered outside.
That's a hack. So that's a hack to get a truck for the low?
For the low, right? Because if you buy it now, you're paying a premium, right? So in the off season, here's the hack. People are hurting, right? So all they want is some money. So you can get it. My first food truck I bought, it was sitting on the side of the road for about a year, 2 years. It was this guy, his mom had bought it. It was named after his mom. Shout out to the dude, you know who you are. It was a cash type deal, right? And I gave him 8,000 cash. It's like, yo, give me that truck, right? And here's the crazy thing. I never fixed the truck up to a standpoint that I use it as a real food truck.
Oh, wow.
But it was a hack for me that, right, I didn't want to ride around in a food truck for a say. But now, around this time, 2012, 13 time frame, food truck festivals are coming popular. But I'm a barbecue guy, right? So I just need to get into food truck festivals. How do I get into food truck festival? People call it, do you got a food truck? I'm like, yeah, I got a food truck. And all I'm doing is rolling up with a little generator food truck, plugging up. And then I'm setting up a tent. I got pictures, if you go to my Instagram page, me setting up on the outside of the food truck.
That's what I was about to ask you, bro. If you actually set that up outside.
I set up outside. I would bring the grills because for me, I can't fire up like I'm cooking on real wood, charcoal, the whole nine. So I can't light up a grill inside the food truck for a second. So I went to a situation where I'm setting up a tent, I'm setting up my signage, everything all over the food truck. But I used the food truck to get into the festival. I didn't have all the details, and at the time I was getting in it,
So you took the imperfect action then?
I took imperfect action, bro. I took a step, even though I couldn't see the whole staircase and how to get there. And during the time that I was getting started, a lot of localities didn't have laws, or they call them land use laws, or laws to allow for food trucks. So they were still like, oh, we don't have licensing, we don't have this, we don't have that. And I was operating off a straight catering license. Like I was just a mobile caterer. So, bro, I was getting in these festivals. I was probably at the time.
I mean, yo, what could you operate like that? Was that a loophole? Was that like how did you just use that just to have the credentials just so you could move, or what?
So at events, every time you do an event, there's a such thing as a temporary food license permit. And I teach this to my mentees, those who get into my mentorship program. Shout out to all those mobile food mentees out there watching. But the key is, right, temporary food license gets you in all of these different events. So that means every event, An inspector will come out there and measure, check the temperatures of your food, make sure you know how to keep the food safe, make sure you got proper ice or refrigeration, make sure you're heating your meats to the proper temperature, and then they would give you a temporary food permit for the day to operate. And so the hack was, in my state, you pay in most localities one fee for the whole year, which back
Oh,
then
that's
was,
pretty
which
good.
was like which was like $40 a year to get this permit.
That's
And
pretty good.
so I would have to submit the permit and say I already paid for every different event I would do for the year.
Mm.
Right. And so I would do events, and at the time, it's crazy. I was making 12 to maybe $3,000 per event and thought I was doing something at the time. You know what I'm saying? Looking back on that now it's like I ain't gonna make about 3,000-4,000 at that event. I don't want to come. Right. But
Exactly.
then, I'm grinding, right? So in that grind, I'm just taking imperfect action to figure it out. And I'm setting bigger goals and bigger targets every single year to hit that mark and that deadline. I mean, I used to sit down, and one of the books I used to do every year, it was a book by my God, shout out to Darren Hardy. Darren Hardy got this book, this journal. You see, it's coming apart. It's called Living Your Best Life Ever, and it's just a goal writing system. And I would go through this system every year where I would write out. I would do an assessment, like a design. I would do a self assessment, like where am I at in my business, and then it was like I would do my own state of the company address to me and my family. I'd be like, yo, here's where we're at as a business, and here are all the events I want to do this year. Right. And it'll be like
How many numbers was that at the time?
at that time,
Because
I
I
think
want people to understand, like your mindset, and when you sharing this with the family, whatever. Like, were you like 20 events, 30 events? Did that seem crazy to do that in a year? Like, I want people to kind of like get.
well, so it's a bunch of things that took place. One, as I was buying more equipment and buying more grills, I had to pay for storage.
Mm,
Right? And then I didn't have vehicle to store. I mean, to haul all this stuff. So I used to have to rent U-Hauls.
yeah. You were going crazy, bro.
Oh man, I was going great. So now I own my own box truck and all that stuff
That's
now.
crazy.
But I didn't start out there, and so it was crazy. I would in the midst of it, I took a job, right? Because the school I graduated from offered me a job. They offered me like 60,000 with full benefits, health benefits, and all of that. And they wanted me to be their ambassador. So I would work to Friday, get off Friday, go get the U-Haul truck, right? Go to storage. I'll be loading up in the storage unit for about 2-3 hours. Go home, start prepping meat if I've already done my shopping for the day and put it in the fridge. And then I'll be up to maybe 2-3 o'clock, take a 2 hour nap or whatever if I go to sleep. Because if I got meat pre-smoking, because remember ribs and pork gotta cook all night. And I'm going to these events. So you thinking I'm doing maybe 2 to 3 events a month for about a 4 or 5 month a high season cycle. And I maybe at the time, I remember first year of me running my business just out the trunk, I made maybe 20 or 30,000. Then I made 60. From 60, I went to 120. 120, I think we hit like two, and then I think during the pandemic we went crazy. We almost got to 500 during the pandemic. So I mean, we started to really peak out during that time, and it was just all off of me hustling, me hitting that, knowing how to market on social media, and me finding a way to be able to get in these events because I got a lot of no's trying to get into events as a newcomer. And so I had to learn hacks. I had to learn different ways to get in. Also, I took a lot of losses too, and I figured out which events worked and
Yeah,
which events didn't work.
yep,
But it was like I had to, my goal was because coming from that was my street life, I knew I had to win more than I lost, right? I
yep,
knew it was about not just wins and losses, but a loss is only a loss if there's not a lesson learned, right? So in
yeah,
every loss, I look for the lesson I had to learn because it's a loss if you repeat it again and you lose again. And so for me, it was like, all right, I'm going in here. All right, men lie, women lie, but these numbers don't lie, right? So they telling me they're gonna have this many people, but let me see what their social proof is. Let me see what past events look like, right? So if they said this, I got to chop their numbers down to about 20 to 10%, and then I even still got to estimate, and I got to make my projections And now just because they're doing an event, I will also cross promote their event like it was mine.
Yeah, 100%. You got to do that. You got to
So
do that.
I learned how when I was going to their events, I was building up my own following at the same time, my own database, and I'd be like, "Hey, I'm gonna be here," and that was my killer advantage over a lot of the other vendors that was there because they wasn't promoting where they were going to be at. They was depending on the
Yeah,
promoter to do it. But I was cross promoting. I would have it on Facebook. I would add their event as my event, and boom, all my people knew exactly where I was at. So I used to have a following that followed me from event to event. They would look for me to see which was the hot event. If it's a jazz fest, if it's a barbecue fest, whatever it was that people would try to come to. And so that was the exciting part about kind of growing and really expanding this business to that point and getting to that point.
So I got a question for you, right? So let's say there's a somebody inspiring, right, to get into the mobile food game. I mean, you know, maybe somebody's in the mobile food game right now and they're doing like 4 or 5 figures. You know what I'm saying? If you know if you had to like run it from today with the information that you have for all your experience, how would you fast track the situation to get to 6 figures?
Yeah, the key right now, so it's all about planning. You got to plan your year out in January. So I would look at the area I was at. There's a couple websites I look at. Whatever local cities and counties and towns around me within like a 25 to 30-mile radius, I would look at all their sites and see what events they got planned for the year, right? I would also look at a website called festivalnet.com, like festivalnet.com. It lists all the festivals in a certain region, and you can see who's looking for vendors. Then I would look on there. I would look at the events, and I would see if they got a Facebook page or Instagram page, and I would see what their following is, or I would see how many it is, right? And then going from there, I would see who the event promoter was. I would see what the reputation of that event promoter was. Then I would write out all the dates of their events on a sheet of paper, and I would say, okay, here's their events. Here's about how many people is in there. And from there, I would go and I would say, okay, so this event got this many people, probably. So I would then, from there, I would set my projections. I would say, okay, this event, I'm going to buy X amount of meat, and my projections is to make this amount of money. And I would map it out. How many events every single month? And that way I can forecast my way to 6 figures based on the number of events. And then when there's not events, I would also look for catering opportunities, like ways to promote, right? Who are some of the people I can partner with that my food will go good with, right? And so I would say to salespeople, right, here's a hack if you listen. This is free game. Somebody put hashtag free game.
I'm definitely dropping that right now.
Hashtag free game. So now for the salespeople, they would say, what do you do? I would say, I help people close more deals with food. They be like, what? How you do that? So take, for example, somebody in real estate. I would tell them, and you can use this right now to go make money. I would say, for every house you close, why don't you partner with the mortgage company? Why don't you partner with the title company and why don't you all throw a housewarming party, right?
Crazy.
Right? And provide the food. And then not only provide the food, why don't you get the guest list and all the address, and why don't you send out the invitations?
100%.
Why don't you show up and you do all the decoration, you do the whole thing, and we show up. Now, who is the owners of the house talking about the whole time to all of their guests then? Right? While you're there hosting, serving all the people. And that's just a whole bunch of extra leads you generated based on me bringing food and you getting 3 or 4 other people to pay me to show up and help entertain your guests.
100%. And then the title person or the mortgage person or the realtor, they're gonna want the same experience for their clients too. So then they're gonna be hitting you like, yo, look, I got 3-4 closings this month. Hey, yo, I got 10 mortgages I'm closing this month. Hey, yo, I'm doing X amount of titles this month. So you're gonna get those leads too.
And you set it up for 30 days, and they're building their database because they want addresses. They got people that might want to list or sell, or they got people that might want to buy, right? So they got 1 or 3 people, somebody who already owns, who may want to sell or list, somebody who doesn't own, who might want to buy. And then, so it's a win-win-win type of situation. And now, not only that, but me showing up and being in the room, people are beginning to see the type of experience that I'm bringing.
Yeah, that's a crazy open house right there, bro.
Yeah, that's a crazy
open house.
But the idea is to do that with anybody in any different type of sales industry, right? And show them how to present a thing and to make you the main point. Because I tell people, like when people do weddings, I say it's two things that make a wedding: the music and the food. I say I don't know who your DJ is, but I'm gonna bring the experience with the food,
Yeah,
right?
100%. 100%.
And
That's crazy.
so one of the keys now, if you in there, you got to learn how to promote and market yourself, right?
Yeah.
And B, a lot of people look at promoting is one, they think they got to put a whole bunch of money behind it. But the simple part of promoting is making known what you have. A lot of
Yo,
people don't.
listen, I said that earlier on live, right? I was talking about one of the biggest things that entrepreneurs drop the ball at is simply not speaking about, talking about, letting people know about their business and what they actually sell or do.
Yeah.
Like no one knows. Like you got a shop, you got a service, right? You got a product and you have it. You expect people just to come to you, but you never actually tell people that you have the business, what the products do, what the services do, how to find you, how it would change someone's situation.
Yeah.
It's like it's the easiest and probably the number one way that most entrepreneurs drop the ball when it comes to that. So I 100% agree with you.
I mean, it's like people don't know. Like I remember when I created a course, a guy I know who does courses, but I didn't even know he did courses at the time because he wasn't looked at as the course guy. He was like, "Yo, I saw you did a course. Did you know I did courses?" I said, "No, you never been on saying that you do courses."
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I just recorded my course. It's done. Single point in it. And so you have to become a master promoter, a master marketer.
Yeah.
And the example I give people is McDonald's, right? They're gonna market you to the point where it's annoying, right? And you're gonna, but by the time their bump comes on, you're gonna finish it off and say, "I'm loving it," right?
100%.
Because they're programming it. And I'm telling a young entrepreneur who's just starting is, I know you think you just marketed 10 minutes ago, but you got to market again 10 minutes from now, right?
100%.
Because people got it. And so one of the early hacks I used to do be, no matter where I would show up, I would text people that was in my phone and be like, "Yo, I got such and such today. I'm doing some chicken, some macaroni and cheese, some collard greens, and I'm gonna be at this location. You want me to set a plate aside for you?" Right?
Yeah.
I would just,
That's called pre-framing.
yeah. I'm pre-framing.
Hey, yo, your plate's here, bro. I mean, I'm gonna be here. I'll be here till 5. Make sure you don't miss your plate. I set it aside for you. That's a crazy pre-frame right there, bro.
But I didn't care. I was sending it out. I was blasting it on Facebook. I was shooting email blasts if you was on my point of sale system, if you were in my database. But the point was, I had to let people know that I was in business. I had to promote. And one of the crazy hacks, I'm crazy. I watch Home Shopping Network sometimes just to watch the people promote the products on Home Shopping Network.
They masters,
right? They gonna promote the heck out of this cell phone case, right? And then at the end, the second part of promoting that a lot of people miss is testimonials, right? So on Home Shopping Network, they'll have people talk about the product, and then at the end, they'll be like, "But don't take my word. Like, if you got this product at home, call." Like, as people eating your food, get the social media, get the proof of concept. Yo, what you think about what you just ate? Oh my gosh, this was like, get pictures of them eating your food. Like, you don't want to just show you prepping your food, but you want to show the end result. You want to show people enjoying your food, right? And this is the imperfect action, right, that you can take right now to build, to grow, and to develop your business. That's going to grow your mobile food business to leaps and bounds, right? So let's recap, Brandon. I told them right now, start, even if we're in May, right? Find events in June, July, August, September, October, right? There's 5 months of a solid season in certain areas. Find out what events is in your area and the surrounding areas. Find out, one, if they're taking vendors. And if they're taking vendors, find out how you can become a vendor in that space, right? Now, it's going to cost you money to get in there. Like, if you're just starting out, you want to look for events that's probably $500 and below, right? And you want your vending fee to be no more than 20% or 10% of what you want to project to make, right? So if you pay $500, I want your projections to be no less than $2,500. But I would love for your projections to be $5,000 on what you'll make. But you're just starting off, so you'll probably be between that $2,500 to $5,000 because you want your entry fees into this to set a barrier where you can be able to make money. All right, two. So once you find out who's promoting, then you want to find out if they got vending slots open for you to get in. And remember, you're going to look in your surrounding areas. You're also going to look at festivalnet.com, and you're going to look at all the cities and towns around. You're going to look at their website. Another hack is look for county fairs, right? County fairs is going to cost you a little bit more, and it's going to be a longer time commitment. Most county fairs are a week to 2 weeks long, right? And so you got to really test your rhythm and your timing out, because the lines can get long and the people can get impatient, and you want to be able to capitalize on it. But these are areas right now where you can find money, because we're right here in the peak season, and you don't need a food truck. All you need is a tent, some tables, and some cooking equipment to be able to cook and produce your product. And you can get in for under probably $5,000 that you can build this out and be able to get that nest egg. I hope that Meredith is helping some of your people, and I don't know if this is helping because I can't see no comments. I can't
No,
see
100%. Don't worry, man. They gonna get the gems and everything you saw right there. It just made me think of something. So check this out. So all of the steps that Derek gave you, but we're in 2022, right? So we're gonna spice it up, right? So we're gonna do this. We're gonna add a couple things to that list. So all the events that D said you're gonna plan out for the year. What you want to do is, right? You want to get some splash pages, some lead pages. Create your own pages, right? Say, hey, I'm gonna be at this spot at this time. Have your little lead page where they can do a couple things. One, they'll give you the data. They'll register with you that they'll be there, so you get that customer data. How about they can pre-order a meal?
100%.
So hey, go on there and put, hey, I'm gonna definitely be there, but I want this. They can pre-order a meal.
Skip the line. Right? Wait, that's a skip the line hack.
They'll be able to skip the line.
You ain't got to wait in line, but this your front of line. Come show that you already prepaid.
100%. And if you prepay, maybe they save 10% because they prepaid, right?
Yeah.
Number two, listen, if you're busy, if you can hire a camera person, I would do it. But if you got a niece, a nephew, a best friend, a cousin, maybe a family member, have them come out and have them go live.
Mm-hmm.
Have them go live. So have them go live, and then tell the people that are on the live that come down, if they saw you on live, maybe they get a free side or something. You know what I'm saying? So you want to use the technology that's available to you to get the word out and actually get that data, because now you got the data. Now you can promote to your own circle that, hey, I got this event coming in June, this one coming in July, this one coming in August. You know what I'm saying? I would definitely do that. And if you have somebody that can bring the video out, get that video recap and then use that on social media so they can get excited for your next event, man. That's definitely something I would do. So look, Derek gave y'all a lot of gems. I gave you some bonus gems. If they want to tap in with you, let them know where they can go and what you have available so they can help. So you can help them with their mobile food game.
Yeah. So for those who looking for mentorship, somebody looking for the fast pass, right? If we said a lot that's real fast that you need to execute with, like you need a little bit more handhelling. Like you want to be able to have some Q&A and you want some direct mentorship. I got about 10 spots open right now, Brandon, as of today, May 10th, 2022. I got about 10 mentorship spots open.
How long does it last?
It's a 90-day mentorship. Like it's a 90-day fast pass, right? I'm fast passing somebody to get them to a point. I'm going to hold their hand and show them how to make a minimum of $10,000 a month. All right. I did live last night. I showed somebody how to make $14,000 a month, which was $500 a day.
So what's the investment in the mentorship?
Mentorship is only $10,000, right?
So look, you're gonna invest 10.
Somebody make $100,000.
Listen, you're gonna invest 10. You're gonna make the 10. You get access to the information, and then you could duplicate that over and over and over and over and over. So like Derek's really losing. You really on a short end of the stick, honestly.
Yeah, because I'm giving him 120 worth of game
for 10 stacks. And do you offer flexible payment options too?
Yeah, of course, absolutely. We got 100% payment options, right there, financing and everything, so they don't have to come out, so they can jumpstart into a mentorship. But the key right now is for people to take action, right? Because no action, like if they keep doing what they're doing right now, they're gonna keep getting what they're getting, right? And so the question they gotta ask themselves: is it enough? Like keep doing what you're doing, keep getting what you're getting, right? But now, if you want the fast pass, like I was going to the gym playing around and I wasn't getting results. February, I hired a trainer. We start working out 2 days. We start measuring. We start measuring the body fat. We start setting goals and targets.
Got a
And
specialist.
I went from playing around in 90 minutes in the gym to us just doing 30-minute sessions, getting more results because we hitting these certain areas, right? And me, I'm not understanding. I'm like, man, we just working the legs, but no, we working the whole body, and I don't even know it. We working upper body, we working cardio, all that. We sitting on the wall. I'm like, why the wall need me to sit on it? Like I ain't even understanding. But because he's a specialist, right? He can get me from where I'm at much faster, right? So he coaching me, and I realized Michael Jordan lasted as long as he did because he had a fitness coach. Kobe saw it. He hired the same one, and even LeBron is using the same team to this day, spending $1 million a year on just keeping their body right and being able to operate at a peak level. And so most communities, they don't understand the value in coaching and mentorship as being that fast pass, as being that hack. Like I don't like sitting in traffic when I'm on the highway. And so if it's an option between sitting in traffic and jumping on the easy pass, I'm gonna take the easy pass because you're either gonna pay with your time or you're gonna pay with your money.
100%.
And what I realize is if I spend time, I can never get that back. But if I spend money, it's always a big return in that.
You get that all the time, man. So, Derek, bro, I just want to say I appreciate you for putting the time aside to jump on the Imperfect Action Show, dropping all the gems, helping these people position their brands and their mobile food businesses so they can get to that 6 and 7. Listen, if you out there and you want to hit that fast pass, you want to skip the line, you want to accelerate your growth, you definitely want to grab my guy's mentorship. Get that 90 days. Accelerate your mobile food business. Let's get to these 10 bands. He's going to help you get to $120,000 in 12 months minimum if you just literally run the plays that he's going to give you. So make sure that you follow my BBQ Man on Instagram. There's a link below I'm going to put down there for the for the mentorship. So make sure you guys tap in. Bro, I look forward to having you back on the show.
Look,
too many gems,
here's a guarantee I can put out there.
Too many gems.
If I give them all the plays and they show me and they document that they execute the play and they don't hit the 10 plus bands a month, I get them their money back plus an extra $500 for wasting.
Yo, you going crazy. I might have to do the same thing. You just went crazy.
Yeah.
Yo, that's a no.
If they all the plays I tell them to play, document it, show me that they execute the play, and they don't make their 10 bands, I'm gonna get their money back plus $500 for wasting their time.
Yo,
that's what your people. Yo,
that's crazy.
I'm just because I know like what I'm doing ain't nothing I heard. Like this is stuff. These are the plays I ran and have been highly successful in.
Crazy, man. Well, all right, bro. Again, appreciate you for putting the time aside. It's been a crazy episode, mad gems. I learned something. I don't even have a mobile food business that I can implement in my situation. If you guys missed anything, make sure you run this episode back. It will be on YouTube immediately. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure that you follow my BBQ Man. You tap that link below and inquire about that mentorship.
I'm gonna give him my number. I'm gonna give your people my direct text message.
Yeah. Go ahead. I'll put it right here. What we got?
571
998.
998.
Yep.
1388.
1388. And what should they text? Text what to that number?
Text mentorship. You know, and then they can put action show behind it or something, so I know that they came from the show, right? And then I will send them a list of questions I want them to answer because you know everybody can't get in the mentorship program, so I'm gonna pre-qualify you and ask because I don't have time to work with everybody.
Yeah, you gotta make sure the mindset's right.
Yeah. If you curious, I can't take you, but if you serious, text 571-998-1388. Right, text me, I'll respond. Right, you're gonna hit my number. I'm gonna show you it's me. I'm gonna make sure you lock me in your phone so that I can hit you back. That's my community.
100%, and I'm gonna put that number right there in the caption so you guys don't miss it because I know some of you guys be multitasking. You might miss it. I'm gonna put it right below so you can't miss it. All right, bro. Appreciate you. Make sure you guys follow my BBQ Man on the gram. Get into this mentorship. There's only 10 spots available. He's not working with everybody. He's only working with a couple of people that are serious and not curious, man. Bro, I will see you soon, man. I appreciate you.
All right, fam. One love. Hey, keep taking that imperfect action. It's not what you know that makes you who you are. It's what you do with what you know. Take action today.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.